My name is Steve Zeltzer, and with the United Public Workers for Action and also Transport Workers Solidarity Committee. And we're here today to raise the issue of contaminated waste being taken out of the ship improperly and brought through Oakland and the East Bay communities. We believe that this contaminated waste should be handled properly. There is an emergency, a statewide emergency, but that does not mean you should violate health and safety procedures. And we believe that Cal-OSHA, there should be safety inspectors down here so that the workers in the ship, the crew members who should be evacuated because it's a Petri dish, it's a dangerous place to be, and the workers who work here should be instructed so that they're prepared and to deal with this virus, COVID-19. And we also feel that there's a rush to get this thing done and ship out of here without taking the proper procedures, and that could endanger people's lives and the health and safety of not only the people here at the port, but also people in the Bay Area. So our first speaker is Trent Willis. He's president of ILWU Local 10.
Good afternoon. Trent Willis, president of the International Longshore Warehousemen's Union, Local 10, and I have along with me Brother Ricky Cox, who is the vice president of the International Longshore Warehouse Union, Local 34, for the clerks. And the reason we are out here today is because I have to rewind the tape. On March 5th, 2020, we had a Labor Relations Committee meeting with the employers along with the Port of Oakland. We had a CDC representative there, a representative from the Alameda Health Department, and also a federal representative from the Department of Health and Human Services. And we hashed out a comprehensive plan to discharge baggage from this ship, along with loading stores and perishables and food for the crew members and passengers at the time who were still aboard the ship. At that meeting, there was an agreement made on how the waste and trash would be handled to be discharged from this ship. And at that time, it was agreed that the trash would be discharged from the water side of the ship onto a barge and shipped out that way for protection of the workers and the protection of the surrounding community. As of now, some kind of way, and I don't have the information available to you of why this is changing now, but someone is making decisions to change the arrangement that we made for our longshore workers, not just the longshore workers, but all of the workers out here and the public, and making a decision to load this trash into trash bins and truck it through the community and dump it to an unknown place. We have no idea where this place is, that this trash is being planned to be dumped. This is presenting a problem. It's presenting a health risk, not only for the workers out here today, but for the community. I made it clear to the parties involved that if this became a problem for the community, which it absolutely has become a problem for the community, that the Longshore Union would be standing with the community opposed to this contaminated trash being trucked out of this terminal through our cities and dumped at a location that we are not aware of.
Have you spoken to the mayor or the governor about this?
The only people that I've talked to so far, we talked to the port director here. I had a three-way conversation with the port director and a representative from Metro Cruise Lines, Metropolitan Stevedoring. And the port director made it absolutely clear that through the lease agreement for this ship to dock here, that the lease agreement clearly states that there will be no discharging of trash onto the dock and trucked through this community for the protection of not only the workers, but the community as a whole. There's too much unknown about the coronavirus for us to take these kind of chances with the community. And The Longshore Union is absolutely opposed to any dumping trash on this dock, trucking it out of here, trucking it through the community, and dumping it wherever they think they want to dump it.
So originally where they should dump this waste?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Originally where they prepared to dump this waste?
Originally, the agreement was that the trash would be dumped off of the offshore side of the ship onto a barge. And just to let you know, these ships are usually worked in the port of San Francisco at the cruise ship terminal. And even in a regular situation where we would work these passenger ships, the trash is always dumped on a barge on the water side of the ship. Okay. Now we understand that this is a special circumstance, and this ship had to come to the Port of Oakland. This is not a traditional cruise ship terminal. We knew that when we went into talks with the parties involved. So a specific question came up about how the trash would be handled, since we are not at the traditional cruise ship terminal, and we came to the conclusion that the trash would be handled exactly how it was handled at the original cruise ship terminal. Some kind of way, because the company's in a hurry to sell the ship, those plans have been changed, and the public is being put at risk because of whoever, and I haven't been told who these people are yet. Somebody's gotten in a hurry here, and
So you have talked to Danny Wan, right?
I've spoken to Danny Wan.
Okay.
Yes.
So he declined to the waste to be
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Okay.
Last week, Libby Schaff, she mentioned she agreed to. I'll let it go by.
Right. Okay.
She said she agreed to using this as a port, as long as they respected the fact that they wouldn't do what she called environmental racism here in Oakland. Do you think that's what's going on here, or would you like to address that? Or?
Yes, I do believe this is environmental racism. This, like I said, this port, everyone knew this port was not equipped to handle a cruise ship. I don't know why the decision is being made to dump this trash in Oakland or in any of the surrounding cities, but it is definitely not what we want to see happen.
And also, earlier I was on Burma Road, and I did see them dumping some trash onto dumpsters on a barge on the ocean side, like port side. I don't know.
Right.
And so they're doing some of that. You think they're going to take some other trash by truck, or is it a combination of both truck and boat?
Well, from what I've seen, it seems like they're trying to develop a situation where they're doing both. Like I said, we have a situation where we got some parties involved that are in a huge hurry. They're trying to blame Governor Gavin Newsom for this, saying that he's rushing it. I don't believe that. They're trying to blame city officials, council members. We've been trying to contact them to see if this is true. We've been getting reports back that this information that we're getting is not true. And what I believe is that the company that we're dealing with here, Metropolitan Stevedoring Services, is making this decision on their own. I've actually talked to the company that is here to haul the trash. I believe the name of the company is NRC Environmental Services, and they explained to me that the phone call they got to come here and do this job, they got that phone call from Metro Stevedoring and the Grand Princess. Okay, so they weren't called here by the government like we were being told before. We were told that Gavin Newsom said that this ship had to be out of here today. I don't believe that's true. We were told that they want to quarantine the ship, and they can't quarantine the ship unless the trash has been emptied out. We haven't been able to verify that information. We've been told several different stories about this cruise ship that have turned out to be either untrue or unverified.
Are you planning to sue anyone?
Sue?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, it's dangerous right here. You said it's dangerous. Are there any suits that you're planning to file?
Well, there could possibly be lawsuits. I'm not prepared to comment on that today. Right now, we're basically trying to stop even the process from happening. Like I said earlier, there was agreement already made. We don't understand why the agreement can't be honored.
So with the governor not doing anything about it, have you spoke to him directly?
We have not spoken to him directly. We have some contacts within our organization that's trying to reach out to the governor's people. It's Sunday right now. We haven't gotten any information back to how effective that has been, but we're still waiting for some calls back.
And you mentioned you don't know where the garbage is being dropped off, correct?
We don't know where the garbage is being taken. We don't know where it's being dropped off. All of those are concerns and questions that we want answered, and we're just not getting any answers from the people in charge here.
So you don't know when the crews will leave? How about that?
Okay, the information about the crew, there have been the crew has been disembarked from the ship. The information that we have is there are approximately 400 crewmen still aboard the ship. We have no idea of what kind of condition they're in, whether they need medical attention, whether they need to be tested for the coronavirus. We don't know what's going on with the crew. We're being told that they're not allowed to come off the ship. They're not allowed to contact anyone. And all of these are concerns that we have. We consider the ship crew brothers and sisters of the union, and we are concerned with their safety and their well-being.
Have you made contact with these people on the boat?
They won't allow us to make contact with the crewmen on the ship.
But have they contacted you with the people on the boat, like the employees? They contact you guys?
They're not allowed to. We have organizations that the crew members are supposed to be allowed to contact, the ITF as well as the IDC, and they have not been allowed to contact those organizations.
Yeah, my name is Terry Valen. I'm with the Filipino Community Center. I'm the director there and the president of the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns. There are more than 500 Filipino workers on this ship, and we were out here at a press conference yesterday with ILWU, UPWA, and others to talk about the conditions of those workers. The contamination of the ship affects all of the workers here at the port, the ones on the ship, and all of the passengers who were let off. And so like Trent mentioned, this issue concerns all of us. And everything that has been happening, there's been a lack of transparency about how they're handling the infections on the ship. There's about 21 cases. 19 of those was workers. We found out 13 of those workers were Filipino seafarers. So more than half of the workers on the ship, 1,100 crew members, were infected. And so this ship is contaminated. The waste is contaminated. We can't let it come down on the port here, affecting the workers here at the port, but also coming into the cities and communities of Oakland. It's already impacted some passengers, 2 of them, and then 19 workers. So about 500 or 400 or so Filipino workers were loaded onto buses just yesterday, brought to the San Francisco airport and sent back to the Philippines. They're really rushing them out of here. Did they take care of them? Did they test all of them? Did they give them the medical care they need? These are all questions we had throughout. And like they've been saying here, the whole process is being rushed. There's not enough transparency. So we want to know these things, make sure the workers are taken care of, and make sure our communities are taken care of as well. So we're out here yesterday at a press conference to make sure the Philippine government, the U.S. government, and Carnival and Princess Cruise is doing everything they can to make sure everybody's safe. But it just seems like that's not happening right now. We're not getting enough information. Some of the workers are off, but 91 Filipinos are decided to stay on board. They're trying to man the vessel, and like you said, potentially it's out of here tonight. But this ship needs to be decommissioned, needs to be decontaminated, and all of the workers in that process, both the crew and the workers who are going to do the decontamination, unload the ship, need to be taken care of. And we're just not seeing that level of care and concern for the workers especially. They got the passengers off, now they're concerned about the trash, but really all of the workers and the communities here need to be taken care of as well. Terry Valen, Terryvalen, last name like Valentine. I'm the president of National Alliance for Filipino Concerns, or NAFCON.
Are you shocked that this is happening?
Yeah, I mean, this is a time for all of us to come together. You know, the workers, the passengers, the government, the Carnival crews needs to step up and pay for all of this, right? Take care of the workers and all of their needs. So we're not seeing that. We're not hearing it on the ground. We're mobilizing ourselves to take care of our communities on the ground every day. We need to see more action from, you know, the government to be more transparent and Carnival crews to take care of all of the workers and all this whole situation. Yeah.
And we want to make it clear that we're here. We're here to both protect the workers here and to protect the community.
Yeah, I think we also want to say to Governor Newsom, we understand this is an emergency. It's a national emergency, and that people are afraid, people are terrified of getting this virus. I can understand that. But you cannot violate health and safety procedures which protect the workers, which protect the community. And also you need to collaborate with the union. You need to inform the union and the workers what's going on. And the ship crew are human beings. They deserve to be able to have communication. They're not in a prison, but apparently they're in a prison because they can't communicate. And when workers are put in a prison right here in the Bay Area and not allowed to communicate, what does that say about our situation, about human rights and democracy? They haven't done anything illegal. Why aren't they allowed to communicate? Why aren't they allowed to let people know what the conditions are on the ship? The other thing is the governor has said, as well as the mayor and Ron Bonte, that they can quarantine the workers, the crew in this ship. Now they've said that. You can quarantine workers in this Petri dish ship. And we don't believe, in fact, the Dr. Fracci said that the experience of the Diamond Princess in Yokohama was by keeping people in that ship, they contaminated everyone. People got more sick as a result of that. They have to get the crew off the ship. They have to properly take the garbage, the contaminated waste, and put it not on this land, but put it on another boat and take it out of the Bay Area. That's for the health and safety protection of the community. And I think the Mayor, Libby Schaaf, the Governor, Gavin Newsom, should be concerned that this ship is treated as a health and safety hazard, and it doesn't cause any more damage to the people here in the port, the workers, the crew, or the community. And that's all we're saying. Do it properly. I mean, I think that's what we're saying here.
You mentioned about Cal-OSHA yesterday. They're short-handed, but should they be here?
Cal-OSHA should be here, and we have another question for Cal-OSHA and Gavin Newsom. Cal-OSHA, workers in California, we pay for it, all the workers pay for it. Where is Cal-OSHA? Have they been instructing the workers on how to deal with this? Have they given masks? Have they given proper protection? I mean, where are they? I'd like to know. I mean, this is one of their jobs and responsibilities. So Governor Newsom, you have to explain to the people of California where is Cal-OSHA and why they're not down here to let the workers know how to protect themselves when removing contaminated waste. The MIA.
Yeah, and also, where are our city and port officials who were involved in the fact that this ship is even here? Our city and port officials are the ones that made all of the agreements. Where are they now? We have an attempt here to go against the agreement that was made, and we're trying to contact all of the people involved, and no one is here. Okay, the citizens of this city and the surrounding cities have to be protected from any contamination that can possibly come out of this ship. So if there's an agreement being broken between the parties, everything needs to stop, and we need to have another discussion.
What's going to be your name and how to spell it?
You, Steve.
Okay, Steve Zeltzer, S-T-E-V-E, Zeltzer, Z-E-L-T-Z-E-R.
And your title.
I'm with United Public Workers for Action.
Can I take a picture?
Sure.
Stand.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as coverage, because we had an interview, our press conference yesterday, and a lot of the press conference was cut out.
Yeah, well, because,
There's a lot of stuff going on. We understand that, but the health and safety of the crew and the workers, that's a critical thing. So that's we have to get their voices out.
They don't do the editing, they just shoot.
I know.
we interview everybody. starting for 5-10 minutes, we use 4 to 5 seconds.
Right.
Sure.
But I know you guys can pass our concerns along.
And you're concerned yourselves about protecting. Where is Cal-OSHA? Good question.
Right. I'm glad that they asked.
Yeah.
Cal-OSHA.
Well, they're concerned too.
We are pleased about that, that these trucks are leaving without contaminated trash in them, of course. I just spoke to one of the truck drivers, and he said that his supervisor told them to drive out of the terminal. There's still a truck in there with trash bins on the back of it. We're going to go and check and see if that truck is still in there or if there's any attempts to load that truck. When I left out, there was a barge pulling up on the offshore side. So hopefully they've made the decision, since we've caused such a ruckus out here, which I'm proud of, by the way. Since we caused such a ruckus, maybe they'll be sticking to their agreement now and doing what they're supposed to do.
I mean, how did they change their mind? You guys spoke to them? How?
We basically, just to be honest with you, we blocked the entrance of the ship where the trash would be coming out. We did that not only for our protection, but the protection of this community. The Longshore Union has always stood with the community. We will continue to do that, and this is just another situation, as there have been many over the years, where we've taken that stance.
This is a victory for not only for you guys, but also for the people in the nation itself.
In Oakland and the surrounding cities. Now, we don't know if it's a victory yet. I still have to go in and see what's going on in here, but hopefully it is a victory, and hopefully this trash is taken care of the way it was agreed to be taken care of and the way it's supposed to be taken care of.
Big sigh of relief so far.
I'm relieved because we got longshoremen on the way down here right now. We got some community activists on the way. You're just talking to the ones who got here the fastest and got here first. But we were definitely prepared to mobilize behind this issue.
What was the conversation you guys had with the drivers?
I was just asking the drivers what they were told, and they were told to turn around and leave. And I think that had a lot to do with you all being here. I think that had a lot to do with exposure. I don't believe that Gavin Newsom and all of the folks that they said was involved in this, I don't believe they were. I think that this was a decision made by Princess and Carnival Cruise and Metropolitan Stevedore Services. And I think that they're just in a rush to get this trash off of the ship. Once again, money over lives, profit over well-being. And we were here to stop them from doing that. And I'm very proud of my brothers and sisters and everybody that showed up to help us.
Well, I mean, again, the question is, where is Cal-OSHA to inform the workers, to protect the workers, to go on the ship? Because Cal-OSHA should be here. There are workers on the Port of Oakland who may be contaminated if this trash is removed. They need to be informed and educated. There's only one doctor and one nurse in all of Cal-OSHA for 19 million workers. What does that say about the protection of other workers? There are other workers who are afraid of being infected at supermarkets, cash. One of the things China did was they burned their cash. They burn their cash because this virus attaches itself to money, to paper. So people have to be informed. We have to be protected. So especially workers who deal with the public, transit workers, nurses, the nurses who have to reuse masks at UC San Francisco. This is a serious issue. If nurses, the frontline workers, are having to reuse masks, we got a serious problem. And that's what we're saying has to be addressed, not just for the longshore workers and the crew, but also all workers in this country.
That's a good question. When you guys spoke to the drivers, were they also on your side?
Let me
Okay.
ask Steve.
Yeah.
The drivers for the company involved here were very friendly towards me. Just now, I went over and asked them a few questions, and they gave me the elbow pound because we're not doing the shaking hands or the fist pound right now. So they were very friendly, and they seemed to understand what we were out here trying to do. Okay. One last thing I want to make sure I make clear here before I get off of this microphone is that there are still issues on the table right now, even concerning our direct employer, Pacific Maritime Association, dealing with the work that we perform on all of the docks in this port in regards to the machinery that we operate on a daily basis. The Longshore Union is demanding that machinery be sanitized and cleaned before we have to operate it, both before the day shift and before the night shift. We've been in discussions with the employers about that. We've been getting a lot of pushback.
My concerns is,
What's your name?
my name is Kevin Stewart, and I am a member of ILWU Local 10. I am a B member, and I feel like I'm out here right now because after watching the video live and seeing the trash or the waste actually getting ready to come off the ship, I'm like, why would you bring this trash off when we have an agreement on the table? And if there is agreement on the table, then why would you renege against that deal to try to take the trash off? When we've already said that we didn't want the ship in Oakland. We agreed to have the ship coming to Oakland, or they agreed. Now the ship comes to Oakland, and now you do something different that you agreed to. That's not right. That's not right. So we out here to support our union, Local 10, ILWU, and we're going to fight the fight because this crisis affects everybody, not just one person. It affects everybody. So if we don't stand the fight and we don't stand our ground to protect everybody, not just in the community, but everybody as a whole, how do we expect to get a hold on this so-called pandemic or this state of emergency and or crisis? We got to be vigilant in every way to protect all of our brothers and sisters across this United States of America. If we don't, it's going to keep spreading, it's going to get worse. And we want this to get better. We tired of our groceries getting bought up.